Welcome to my doghouse. This is about the characters of Otter Creek. These are my opinions, and these are not necessarily fact. This is what's been out there. Okay, let me say it really slow. These are my opinions based on what's out there. If somebody has put something out there wrong to make themselves look good, that is not my fault you put it out there like that. Therefore, I have every right to have my opinion and I will express it. So, these are about different characters in Otter Creek. I'm going to start with one. I like the guy, Thomas Collins. He's gone through hell in his lifetime, and some things that have happened he has no control over still is happening and will. Nothing he can do about that. Yeah, he's like any other individual in life. We all do stupid things as a kid, and maybe ignorance is part of that. And he is no different than anybody else. We all go through that. But this guy is willing to put himself out there to help others. Yeah, he gets criticized a lot because of it, but he's still helping others. Here's some things and I defend Thomas 100%. So don't get me wrong here. But these guys have gone out a certain individual, demeaning for trespassing, which by the way he did that. You go back and look. If he hasn't taken it down, he was okay with trespassing when it was himself, but I guess it's okay for him and nobody else because he thinks he's above everybody else. But Thomas is out there doing a great job, and I support him 100%. You see, he does things that will attract my attention. His auto repair stuff he does and stuff like that is stuff we did on the ranch all the time because we didn't have no mechanic around or nothing. And yes, I was doing that like in high school, junior high, helping out with that type of stuff. I've changed motors, transmissions, brakes. So when I see that, and him being from a small area, it automatically attracts to what he is doing. Good guy in a small town. And like I said, I know he's like just like me. He did stupid stuff as a kid, but that's here nor there. He One thing, another thing that this guy has criticized him about, and some minions out there, is all he's doing this is for money, and that's right out of their mouths. And Jeremy has said this too. Guess what? They're doing it for money. If he can't do it, you guys need to stop. You are not better than him, so just stop it. If he shouldn't be making money, you guys shouldn't be out there doing it either. You don't have an exception card. And I'm going to talk about a couple of people from that I've seen because I've been watching a couple of years and I've seen some other than Jeremy's videos on this about a couple of people in town hall. Do I believe he's stalking Russ? Yes, I do. Every time he sees him, he has to harass him. No reason to do that. Now, Russ, if I was there, I'd be talking to him and everything else. But I 100% guarantee I would never vote for that guy for council. He just don't have it. He needs to stay off that damn council because he does have a tendency to want the power and the prestige. An example of that is he tried to get back into the council through hook and crook. And yes, he did. He that once again, I don't hate this guy, and I'd be having conversations with him, but I distinguish between city council and the person. But when he did all that work to try to get back in, that's on him. All he had to do was fill out the paperwork and go to the voters, and I think he probably would have got back in. By him finagling things around, it didn't work. So that was on him. Interesting how he did that. And like I said, I think he could be my friend. I still wouldn't vote for him for council. And anybody that's his friend, more power to you. Nothing wrong with that guy. It's just that I wouldn't want him in as council member. The other one was Don Severino, an interesting guy. And once again, just talking to him and stuff like that, I wouldn't have a problem at all. I probably wouldn't even have a problem with him. But I would not vote for him for city council because all he does is cause hate and discontent all the time at every meeting. He, he will sometimes, I think he just likes to argue, even if he believes in what they're saying. And he has caused arguments that should never have happened and throwing fits that should never have happened as a council member. It, and he got put back on because there wasn't any extras to vote on. Well, he was back in, and he has to take the responsibility here why he's not on the council for now. He walked out. Any legitimate council would have took that as him not wanting on there. He wasn't voted in yet. Well, he was voted in, but he was not sworn in, and he walked out before the swearing in. He's not on that council, and it's his own fault. Nobody else's. And like I said, he may be a good guy when you're just talking to him, but I'd never vote him for council. You can't have people, even in a small town like that, you can't have people doing that. It's unnecessary and shouldn't happen. Then you have Zim, the mayor. Now, I don't have a thing against this guy either, and I would vote for him. Yes, he's got charges against him and all that stuff, and some of it's in the past, some of it may not, I don't know, but I do know from articles he does. But he is running that council like it should be run. Actually, the city clerk runs it more than he does. She does all the work, really. Okay, I just had to say that. I know Thomas likes both of them. Like I said, I think I'd like both of them too, but not in the council. Then you have another guy out there that's not a very good person at times. And once again, I'll say this really slow again. I don't hate him. I hate what he is putting out there. Okay, two different things. He should never have ever started with Lynette and John. Yeah, I don't even know if I'd want to live around them, any of the three. But just because you dislike somebody, you don't go after that person's child to get to the mother. Don't think for a minute that ain't happening. There would not be that many calls on that child if it wasn't trying to go after the child. Some he has done, not all of them, a few probably, There's a couple they can has been documented that he did do. Well, stupidity. It is this guy, remember when he moved there, he was pooping in a bucket. But that's okay. That's an exception for him and nobody else. And by the way, they have a sewer and everything else there on that property. So his half truth is a lie. And you can't go after people like that. He is in that town. He's another one of them characters that's causing lots of problems that don't need to be caused. Content, more than likely. And I think them two are really actually getting the best of him because Jeremy is getting unhinged. He goes to the post office when he sees John leaves and pulls up behind him, then has a complaint against him for being within so many feet. I think 4 feet or whatever it was. How in the hell is that breaking the protection order when the idiot is the one that pulled up behind John? Go figure. Then, then you know he's getting to him because his lawyer told him not to confront. And John is not confronting. Lynette is not confronting. And this guy is losing it. There, there's another one where he was parked in front of their driveway, pulled away so they could get in, and once again, he's complaining that they broke the protection order. Nobody in their right mind would say that was breaking the protection order, going into their home when you were in the way to start with. Oh, why was he in the way? Probably filming their property. In in Idaho, the guy would have been in trouble for doing that. So yeah, that's another deal what's going on. I guess he's driving his tractor lawnmower, zero turner, whatever it is, down the road, and John was working out on the fence or going to put up, and he complained about that. Hello, he's out there. You went by. He has every right to be there, and you're losing it, Jeremy. You're losing it bad, bad, and you don't even see it. That's the problem. Even if you hate these guys, that's your business. But what you're doing is interfering with them when you don't have to. He is so upset they're putting the fence up. He hates that idea. Oh, and they put up more like a less like a clothesline around the property, and he questioned the cop about whether that was legal or not. He could not see what was going on, so he tried to get the police involved. I'll be glad when that report comes out, and I guarantee you it will be out. But it will be out. The other people that'll put it out there will give the whole police report and what the police say instead of a half truth, which equals a lie. When you see the whole thing, it'll be different than what Jeremy puts on here. And just another character in Otter Creek. Most of the people I see there, other than this group, seem to be really, really nice people and love life itself. And that's what we should be doing. We can hate different things going on, but the people we should never hate. Yes, I wouldn't be want to be around this guy. Not that I'm afraid of him. He's just turns out to be a jerk on what things he does, and I just wouldn't care for that. I never have. To me, he comes across as a bully and a narcissist. He's willing to, you know, pull things off, which is his right to do, but it's other people's right to catch on what's going on. Sometimes this guy has rules for him and nobody else is supposed to have them. That is wrong. This guy who has cameras pointed to the neighbor's property and saying it's for his own protection. Bull crap. If it was for your protection, you'd have it on your property, seeing what's going on your property and not them. That is stalking. And in most states, you would be in trouble for that. Another interesting person, Jeremy from Otter Creek. Then there's Willis out there. And I'm not even criticizing him. Yeah, he's probably did some stuff that he shouldn't have done. But this guy is probably one of the most positive guys in that area. He doesn't live in Otter Creek, but he over Tube Town, and even though Jeremy owns it, he's there. So yeah, Willis is a biker as far as stunts and whatever he used to do. Willis is not a bad guy. Very positive attitude. And like I said, he's following Jeremy. That part's probably bad, but at least he has a good attitude around him. And that's a good person to have around you in that respect. For what he has done to a neighbor and stuff, maybe not so much. But at least he stands out as at least being partly good on what he does, positive. More people need to be positive. These are just a few people from Otter Creek. Jeremy's girlfriend isn't with him at the moment, and that's between them two, but she is back in Ohio. Whatever's there, they have to work out. Then you got things like people that were there, like the old mayor. I probably would have voted for her as mayor on the council if I was on the council. But here's another one that has gone after Thomas. Her husband's gone after Thomas, accusing him the only reason he's videoing is to make money. While they are exactly doing the same thing. They don't have a card to get out, exception card either. If you're so worried about Thomas, what he's doing, stop videoing. Give it up. It's only fair. But this small town is definitely interesting. And like I said, I've seen people on camera and that they're from different people. Really seem to be really, really nice people. It's only that few that causes problems. And most of the problems is caused so you can get content on a YouTube channel and maybe other places, I don't know. Some of these guys has got more than one spot they go to, which is fine, but I'm not interested really in that part. And I'll tell you what, Jeremy moved in there thinking he was going to run it. It's kind of backfiring on him, like I said, with John and Lynette. You can tell they're getting the best of him because they are following the lawyer's orders. And he cannot take it. This is a guy that has a lawyer himself, which he needs one as well as Lynette. He thought he deserved one and Lynette didn't, so he could run over him. That's a narcissist attitude. Well, they have one because somebody stood up to these two to help them. And more power to him for doing that. But Jeremy out there saying how great his lawyer is and how bad this other person's lawyer is. Uh, John and Lynette's lawyer, has never been a dentist and charges put against him, so he lost his dentist license. And when he studied to be a lawyer, and that's a good thing, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you can't get a lawyer's license in that state because of what you did as a dentist, you have to move to another state. You have a trail. And that was okay, but this other lawyer doing it for free for John and Lynette is a piece of crap. You know, can you see a little thing here building up that a certain person in that town thinks he's better than everybody else and he gets to do what he wants and nobody else has that right to do? He meant, well, I ain't saying he did. There was these signs up. He took them down. He gets a handwriting expert to look at them. Now this is documented stuff here. To look at them, and the person he got said, "Oh yeah, the similarity to Lynette." Okay, all well and fine. So now he thinks he still can run over her and John. Well, they go out and get the number one expert in the world, and this is documentation, not me saying it. This is on documentation. He says it was Jeremy's handwriting. The courts will decide that. I ain't saying it's his or not. I'm just saying what he put out. But he thought, even if it wasn't him, he could run over these two, get content, and ruin their lives and take their child away. That's not much of a man. That's a pathetic person. No, I'm not on here doing this for a bunch of hours of content because I do shorts, okay? Just look. I don't do a lot of these, and when they are, they're usually a shorts on here. As far as I don't go on long. Once in a while I do, but not a lot. My shorts is what I love doing. So you want think about it. I do get I do get subscribers, but it's for my shorts. These videos don't get me a whole lot. Most come from my shorts. And you know, hours wise, if I want a lot of hours, guess what? You know how many hours you're going to have when they're all less than 60 seconds long? Do the math. And back to some of these people in Otter Creek. Can you imagine the people that established that town? What they see today, they would turn over in their graves. Not by the majority of the people or anything like that, but by those that came in, which they have every right to move there, but came in and tried to tell them how things should be run and when and where and who should run for council, who should not run for council. That's a joke. That's a narcissist. Then a bunch of them have been out there doing things that are questionable. Sometimes you can do things that are questionable that are not illegal. There's a difference there, too. There's been several sued that worked, whether you want to say 1099 or worked for Jeremy, pulled the trailer out. There's question on that. And they are getting sued. See, was it right for them to pull the trailer out? It was probably better for Lynette to get the damn trailer out of there, even though they say it was going to go to them. Without a contract, it's really hard in most states to, even if he said that, this guy, even if he said that, if it's not on paper, it makes it harder to enforce. So that part was okay, but when they started filming everything on her property, which I'm sure they were encouraged to do, in my opinion. Or maybe they did it on their own. I don't know. But it sure looked like they were encouraged by somebody to go in there, take pictures of the property, and go after that child again. I want to ask you guys something. Every one of you, even if you don't like Lynette and John, and by the way, I've never met them and I probably never will. I have no desire to go down there. But you take them and what they have done to them and done to that little girl, anybody that thinks that it is okay to go after that child to satisfy the hate for Lynette and John, you're all a bunch of jerks for doing that. Not for liking Jeremy. It has nothing to do that with that part. It has to do with going after somebody. You may not think that's what it is, but that's exactly what it is. You hate Lynette, so you'll go after the child. And you know who that hurts? It hurts that child. That child's fine. Most of you ain't got a clue. And I don't even live there, and I've figured this out. You have no clue in your life if you don't think that would hurt Lynette taking that child away. You have no clue going after her like you are. You are scarring that child. You say you're trying to protect that child. BS. You're scarring that child, and it's all over an individual that you do not like. You have the right not to like her, but you do not have the right to go after a child. Shame on you, every one of you, for doing that. It's just another things in Otter Creek that go on. And one of the reasons I got interested in Otter Creek wasn't that I wanted to go there, but once stuff started coming out, I'm from a little place. In your mind, it stays there. You see something happen in a little place, I don't care how big or small it is, it will settle in your head because that's your type of town or your type of area. Even though you don't live there, automatically your brain goes to that. And I wanted to see how far away that was from where my sister lived down there that I haven't seen in years. So I got on the map and compared the two. But people in Otter Creek, like I said, I think they're probably some of the nicest and most courteous people overall. Some have drunk the Kool-Aid and is following a certain guy. And you can like that guy, but you don't have to like what he's doing. You can say hi to the guy. How are you doing? Have some interest there. That'd be fine. But I would avoid him personally because I don't like what he's doing. But you cannot like what he's doing and like him. Some of these guys, I think, are afraid that live around there that has decided to go with him. Is they're afraid on some of these channels that are following him. They're afraid Jeremy will go after them, and it's possible. I don't know. I'm not sitting in Jeremy's living room or schoolhouse, but it looks to me that's the way it is. Though people from Otter Creek, I'll repeat it again, seem to be some really good people. Thomas might not live right in Otter Creek, but he's a good person. I mean, he's just out of town a little bit, but people from small areas will stick together, and when you keep pushing them and poking them and prodding them, they will start to stand up against you. And Jeremy has no clue how that works. He's a great businessman, but oblivious to this. Nobody ever should criticize that guy for not being a businessman because he is. He knows how to make things work. But that don't mean I'm going would if I lived there I probably would avoid him. I might say hello or whatever and go on because when you go after a child, that is wrong. I don't care if you're saying it's protection of the child, it's obviously not. Going in and saying I have to film over there for my own protection. Bullshit. You film your property for your protection. What you going to do? See something going on next door and run over there with a gun or whatever and say, or a pew pew and say, this is wrong. Stop it. I seen you from my property on your property. You can't do that. That's pretty much what they do. Sometimes it's better, even if you don't like them, sometimes it's just better to leave them alone. Go on with your own life, as most people do in that town. The majority of that people like each other and will not get involved in these little conflicts to gain money on YouTube or any other place. So when you follow somebody, remember that. Remember who they are and make a decision for yourself on what you think. Yeah, people will get on here, I always do, and defend Jeremy. I don't know how you can do that. I mean, you can, and you can get out there and because it's your opinion, and you should express it. But divide your opinion about the guy with his actions. Two different things. Look at it both ways. When he tells you something, he went and got the transcripts from the police, and he only reads half of it and not what the police officer says or all of what the police officer says. That's called a half truth, which is a lie. So the people in Otter Creek, keep it up. I love you all out there. Hope you have a great day and great time in Otter Creek. Thank you.